Well, it turned out the rumors were true. Our June Nintendo Direct is in fact happening on June 18th, as predicted before and sort of leaked by that Among Us thing. I made a whole video about that. So, like I said in my prior video about my predictions of a 2D Zelda game starring Zelda, I'd give the rest of my predictions for what we might see in this Direct as soon as it got announced. So now that it's announced, let's dive right in. Nintendo of America just tweeted out, join us for a hashtag Nintendo Direct live stream focused on hashtag Nintendo Switch. Games coming in the second half of 2024. There will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during this presentation. June 18th, 7 a.m. PT, 10 a.m. ET my time, roughly 40 minutes long. I'll of course be streaming the Direct tomorrow, so if you want to watch alongside with me, that will be an option. Alright, so there we go. June 18th is in fact the date of the Direct, and it's 10 a.m. EST. We have known since early last month that we would be getting a June Nintendo Direct. Usually they don't announce Directs that early in advance. However, because E3 has been canceled, we used to know that we'd get a Direct in June for E3. Now that E3 is gone, it was nice that Nintendo actually gave us a heads up about this one. But it's also even better that now we know the exact date, and it's tomorrow, June 18th. One very interesting thing about this one, of course, is that Pioro, who usually tweets a bunch of hints before Nintendo Directs, really hasn't tweeted much at all. Yesterday they tweeted out Nindai Doko, which I think was them basically saying Nintendo Direct where? Nin Nintendo, Dai Direct, Doko where? The only other thing they've really tweeted out is retweeting a post from Necro Felipe saying a Chinese Nintendo news poster implied something Ace Attorney might be present in the Nintendo Direct. Although after retweeting this, Pioro said, I will investigate it. So it doesn't seem like they know either way about this Ace Attorney thing. Either way, though, we could be seeing something Ace Attorney in the Direct tomorrow. Recently, Nintendo has been cracking down on the leaks that come from the YouTube backend. Basically, when you upload a video to YouTube before you publish it, some people, YouTube employees mostly, have access to watching those videos in advance. So it's possible some leakers are actually people watching YouTube videos early. When articles started coming out about Nintendo cracking down on this YouTube backend leak situation, Pioro wrote, people are still accusing me of leaking info from YouTube private videos, yet they can't explain how I predicted the announcement of Everybody 1-2 Switch and the price of that NWC game, Nintendo World Championship game. So Pioro has basically claimed that they're not getting their information from the YouTube backend. However, again, in the lead up to this Direct, Pioro really doesn't seem to have any information right now. They are right, though. They did allude to Everybody 1-2 Switch, which was not shown off in anything on YouTube as far as I'm aware. I think it was just posted on Twitter. And while the Nintendo World Championships NES edition did not say its price in the English version of that trailer, in the Japanese trailer it actually did say the price over on YouTube. So if they just watched the Japanese video on YouTube earlier or something like that, you could just translate the price, just convert the yen. Anyway, I'm not trying to figure out how Pioro is getting information. I'm not even accusing them of getting stuff from the YouTube backend. I just find it interesting that Nintendo cracked down on that, and now Pioro seems to not have any information. Though perhaps Nintendo has cracked down in other ways on potential leaks happening for this Direct, and whatever they crack down on outside of the YouTube backend is stopping Pioro from getting too much information about this one. And even if Pioro had started tweeting hints about this Direct, there's no more visible likes on Twitter right now, or X, or whatever you want to call it. You can't see if someone has liked a post publicly. So Pioro used to like correct posts after they hint something. They'd post a hint, and then if people guessed correctly at what that hint was alluding to, they would like that post. But now people can't see likes publicly, so that won't really work anymore. Hilariously enough, to get around this lack of YouTube likes being public, people are now posting the yeah from the Miiverse so people can see that they've liked a post. I find that pretty hilarious. Alright, well, Pioro aside, there were some other leaks predicting this June 18th Direct. I made a whole video about how there was an Among Us trailer that went up like a week ago and kind of leaked that the Direct was probably going to happen on the 18th because the Among Us DLC is supposed to drop on the 18th, probably being shadow dropped in the Direct tomorrow. That video was then taken down, so it seems they accidentally put it up early and, again, maybe leaked the date of the Direct because it is the 18th and probably Among Us is going to be in there. Brazil from Fama Boards posted on Twitter a picture of Android 18, so it's sort of alluding to the 18th probably being the Direct date. They went on to say that Android 18 was not hinting at Metroid, just the 18th was what they were hinting at, the number 18. So it is not a 2-in-1 Direct on the 18th with Metroid stuff in it, hint that Android 18 post was. Though we'll talk about if Metroid stuff might be there in a little bit. The other day, the YouTuber Choctopus actually posted this on Twitter. Nintendo Direct, June 18th at 10 a.m. That's exactly what we got. Nintendo Direct, June 18th at 10 a.m. if you're EST time, and Choctopus is EST time. Alright, and while I really wanted to avoid this subject, it's hard to talk about potential Direct leaks without talking about the leaker Madori. There has been a lot of controversy surrounding Madori in the last week or so. Madori had claimed to be a Japanese woman over on Twitter, posting leaks mostly for Sega and Atlus, but then branched out into other things, such as Nintendo leaks. However, it was recently discovered they're not actually a Japanese woman. They're an old leaker called Mystic Distance, who some people may remember. I really don't want to get into the drama of all this, but Mystic Distance has a lot of skeletons in their closet. They're not the most smiled upon leaker from the past. I don't know what accusations are true and which ones are false, so I really don't want to get too heavily into that, and it's going to take away a lot of time from me talking about Direct predictions anyway. But just know that Madori has now been outed as an older leaker who is not particularly well received and has a lot of issues, a lot of, again, skeletons in their closet. And people were generally upset with them pretending to be a Japanese woman, especially because they posted in broken English, which was, not the best way to do that. I do understand wanting to put up like a smoke screen for who you are or where you're getting your leaks from. I totally understand that. But pretending to be another ethnicity, another gender, and posting in a way that has, broken English when you're a English first speaker, it's not a good look. Madori has deleted their Twitter account. However, before they deleted it, they gave us some more information, and their leaks are still probably credible. However, also keep in mind from what I've gathered, it seems, although their leaks are probably credible, they likely ran out of information, so it's not like losing Madori off of Twitter means we've lost a bunch of potential future leaks. It's likely all their information has dried up from what people are saying. Before they deleted their Twitter, we did get some more final leaks. Live Alive 2 is apparently real. Direct on the 18th, obviously that just happened. Zelda game being revealed soon, codenamed Edward. Xbox and Square strengthening relationships. Every Final Fantasy coming to Xbox at some point, including Pixel remasters. Moana in Kingdom Hearts 4. Sora Fortnite leak is real. Final Fantasy IX footage looks like Dragon Quest meets Memoria Project. No Final Fantasy X remake. XR project being worked on by Historia in partnership with Team Asano. Dragon Quest HD 2D remakes are a trilogy. Persona 6 for 2025. Alright, well let's talk about the Madori leaks that could happen in the Direct tomorrow. Madori was saying Fantasian was probably coming to the Nintendo Switch, so likely we could see Fantasian in the Direct tomorrow. That was an Apple Arcade exclusive game, but it might now show up on Nintendo Switch. Madori was saying the Dragon Quest HD 2D game will probably be shown off in the Direct, and that it's a trilogy, the Roto trilogy, so the original 3 Dragon Quest games featuring like Erdrick, or, revolving around the whole Erdrick thing. Midori mentioned a Nintendo game with the codename Banquet. Buffet was the codename for an old Mario Party game, and Midori went on to say that Smile Boom is involved with this game. Smile Boom has made old Mario Party games in the past, so very likely this is a Mario Party title, which could show up in the Direct tomorrow. Midori mentioned a game project at Nintendo with the codename Spiral, likely having to do something with Splatoon, possibly Splatoon 4 or something like that. I don't suspect we'll get a new Splatoon game shown off tomorrow, but we might see something Splatoon 3 tomorrow. I think whatever this Spiral game is probably a ways out. Over on Reddit, apparently Splatoon 3 side order amiibo have leaked and are scheduled to show up in tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. So likely something Splatoon 3 will be in there, and probably these amiibo getting announced. These would be the first amiibo to get announced since Sora. I honestly thought amiibo might be getting discontinued entirely, but looks like we'll be getting some new ones. Midori mentioned a project at Nintendo with the code named Anna. Elsa was the codename for the Nintendo Switch sports game. Obviously, Elsa and Anna are the two protagonists of the Frozen franchise, so potentially this Anna game could be some new Nintendo Switch sports game. Again, maybe shown off in the Direct tomorrow. Midori, of course, also mentioned a game with the codenamed Edward, and figured it was in relation to the Link's Awakening remake with the codenamed Richard. I made a whole video on my predictions for what this Edward game likely is. I believe it's a 2D Zelda game with playable Princess Zelda in the Link's Awakening remake art style. I don't know this for 100% fact, it may not be in the Direct tomorrow, but I've grown more and more confident it probably will be. I really think I'm onto something here. I'm kind of just putting together rumors and stuff I've heard. It is speculation, but again, I've grown more and more confident I'm right on this one. So I do suspect we'll see that 2D Zelda game starring Princess Zelda in tomorrow's Direct. I'll of course be streaming the Direct tomorrow, so feel free to come watch alongside with me and see if I sink or swim on that prediction. Of course, my 2D Zelda game starring Zelda prediction might not be the only Zelda thing we could see tomorrow. We've had rumors for a long time that Twilight Princess HD and the Wind Waker HD that were on the Wii U may be getting ported over to the Switch, but we still haven't seen them. Very possible those could get announced in tomorrow's Direct. I have also noticed that a bunch of Ganon and Zelda Smash amiibos have been getting restocks lately, so I don't know if that's in preparation for some Zelda games or if it's just coincidental. Then another Zelda thing we might see something for in tomorrow's Direct could be the upcoming Zelda movie. We really don't know anything about it, so yeah, that could surprise us. Maybe we'll find out who some of the actors are for that or something like that. It's possible. Other games we've had rumored for a long time that maybe could finally show up in this Direct tomorrow are Fire Emblem 4 Genealogy of the Holy War. It's been rumored for a long time that game was getting a remaster, but we still haven't seen it. And with this Direct possibly being one of the final, if not the final, Direct to focus on Switch games and not the Switch successor console, this Direct might be the time when a lot of these long-rumored Switch games finally show up. Another one that's been rumored for a while is potentially a Kid Icarus Uprising remaster or port to Nintendo Switch. If that's really happening, potentially we could see it in tomorrow's Direct. Of course, the really big one is Metroid Prime 4. Will that be showing up in tomorrow's Direct? We've been waiting 7 years to see this game and have nothing but this Metroid Prime 4 title screen to go off of. From what I've gathered, I believe Metroid Prime 4 will probably be in the Direct tomorrow. I don't know that for sure, but what I've gathered, what the rumors I've been hearing, is that the game is probably launching in the fall. So it would be the big holiday title this year. If that's the case, now of course would be the time to start showing it off and hyping it up. I suppose it's possible you could show it off in a September Direct and hold on to it even longer and just hype it up only maybe a month or two before it comes out. But I really feel like if I'm right about it launching in the fall and being the big holiday title, which I think I am, then now would almost certainly be the time to start announcing it and showing it off and hyping it. But I do not know for sure if it's in tomorrow's Direct. We will find out tomorrow. The original Metroid Prime, of course, got a remaster for Switch, and some people have been wondering if Metroid Prime 2 and 3 could also get remasters for Switch. I haven't heard anything about that myself personally, but it's totally possible that could be happening. Obviously, I don't hear everything, I barely hear anything, so yeah, that's a possibility, but no, I haven't heard that. We'll just have to wait and see if that shows up tomorrow or what. Another big Nintendo title that we know almost nothing about is Pokemon Legends ZA, Z through A, Pokemon, whatever it's called. Pokemon ZA. It's possible we could finally get a look at that game. Pokemon games do sometimes show up in Nintendo Directs, though often they're held off for Pokemon Presents. So I don't know what's going to happen with that one. There's like a 50-50 shot something. Pokemon ZA, Pokemon Z through A, whatever we're calling it, could show up in the Direct tomorrow, but also totally possible it doesn't, and we don't see it until we get a Pokemon Presents. There's this event called The Music of Mother for the Mother or Earthbound series, and recently the director of the Mother series wrote this, basically giving fans a hint to buy tickets before June 17th at 11 a.m. Japan time. So that's awfully close to like the Direct here, so I don't know, is something getting announced for Mother in the Direct or for the Music of Mother? It might happen. All right, and then a few other things that might show up in the Direct tomorrow that are rumored to potentially be happening. Pushmo could show up as Pushmo has a category on Intelligent Systems' official website suddenly. So maybe that's in preparation to announce something Pushmo in tomorrow's Direct. The House of the Dead 2 remake got rated for the Nintendo Switch in Europe. So potentially we could see something House of the Dead 2 in tomorrow's Direct. The Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition had some trophies found for it that could indicate it might show up very soon. So it's very possible it could show up in the Direct tomorrow. I know a while back, Hi-Fi Rush got rated in Australia for Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. I don't remember, did we see Hi-Fi Rush for Switch yet? I don't think so. So, again, potentially it could be in the Direct. A while back, the director of Mass Effect Legendary Edition said don't rule it out for Nintendo Switch. This being, again, possibly the last Direct focused on the Nintendo Switch, maybe we'll see Mass Effect Legendary Edition in tomorrow's Direct. Alright, let's talk Nintendo games we could see. Possibly we could see something Donkey Kong. It's been a little while, unless you count Mario vs. Donkey Kong. However, personally, I think Donkey Kong's not going to happen in tomorrow's Direct. I think something Donkey Kong is in the works, but I think it's probably further out. Something we could see, like, next year. Something F-Zero could show up in the Direct. I wouldn't rule that out, as we got F-Zero 99, which does show that Nintendo is at least looking at the F-Zero series. Though I haven't heard anything about F-Zero, so we'll just have to wait and see if something shows up in the Direct. Would be cool, though. Kirby, of course, is another big Nintendo franchise. Possible something Kirby could show up in the Direct. Seems like Kirby was getting a game all the time a little while there, so I don't know, maybe they've run out of Kirby games for the time being, but Kirby seems to get games often, so maybe we'll see something Kirby in tomorrow's Direct. I haven't heard either way. Star Fox is another Nintendo series that hasn't had much love on the Switch, so maybe we'll see something Star Fox tomorrow. Or maybe not. Who knows on that one. I know a lot of people have been wanting something Tomodachi-like to happen for Switch, and it hasn't yet, so maybe we could get something Tomodachi before the end of the Switch era here. Speaking of the end of the Switch era, it's about time to start doing Nintendo Selects if they do that for the Nintendo Switch, which I suspect they probably will. So we might see the announcement of some Nintendo Selects in tomorrow's Direct. For those who don't know, Nintendo Selects are basically a reissuing of some of the best, most popular titles for the console that Nintendo does at the end of the lifespan for that console. Before we move off of the Nintendo Switch, I'd love for a few games to get some DLC. Personally, I'd really like to see Pikmin 4 and Super Mario RPG get DLC. I have no idea whether they will or they won't, but those are the two games I'd really love to get some more content for. This Direct feels like probably the last hope for either of those games getting any DLC, so fingers crossed on that one. And speaking of Mario, maybe we could get a Mario Odyssey 2. I know that's been something people have wanted for a while. Mario Odyssey didn't get as much DLC as people suspected it might. I was hoping for like whole new kingdoms and we didn't get that. So maybe they've been working on a straight up sequel for it. I kind of doubt this though. I feel like if they're doing a new 3D Mario, they'd save it for the Switch successor console, but still would be really cool to get. As far as other Mario stuff goes, we do have the Paris Olympics coming up, so a Mario and Sonic at the Olympics Games game getting announced is possible. I already mentioned how Madori was hinting at that Banquet codenamed game that has Smile Boom attached to it, so that could be a new Mario Party. We could see that tomorrow. And I already mentioned the Zelda movie possibly showing up in the Direct tomorrow. Well, of course, the Super Mario Bros. Movie eventually is going to get a sequel, so maybe they could announce something for the sequel to the Super Mario Bros. Movie. It's kind of interesting how these Directs now aren't just for games, but potentially Nintendo-themed movies. And speaking of Mario games, one of the few games we have coming out soon for Nintendo that we're aware of, Luigi's Mansion 2, getting ported over to Switch, comes out on June 27th, so almost certainly the Direct will highlight that game and remind people it's coming out. Some people, of course, have been hoping for Luigi's Mansion 1, the original Luigi's Mansion, to show up on Switch, as that would give us the whole trilogy on one console. Could be cool, but I haven't heard anything either way. Tomorrow, July 18th, is the release date for the NES World Championship Edition, so I suspect they might highlight that briefly and just remind people it's coming out. Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble comes out on June 25th, so possible they could remind us about that one. Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, is coming out on October 10th, so possibly that could show up in the Direct tomorrow. Sonic X Shadow Generations comes out on October 25th, so that could potentially be there. Epic Mickey Rebrushed has a release date of just fall 2024 right now, so maybe we'll get an exact release date tomorrow. LEGO Horizons just got announced, and it is coming to Nintendo Switch, holiday 2024, so maybe we'll see something for that tomorrow. Of course, the thing that may have leaked the June 18th Direct date early, Among Us, if that was in fact leaking the Direct because of that video going up early, we could see Among Us tomorrow, getting the DLC announced. And then apparently Shadow dropped. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam just has a release date of 2025 right now, so maybe we'll see more for that game. Deca Police has no release date, so potentially we could nail down exactly when that one's coming out tomorrow too. If we're getting really, really speculative, maybe we'll finally see Silk Song in tomorrow's Direct. I kind of doubt it. Silk Song just feels like this pipe dream of a game that's never coming out, but hey, maybe it'll be there. And maybe Resident Evil Outrage or Revelations 3. That was like a rumor for a while, but I think I heard it got canceled or something. I don't know. If anybody knows about that one, I really don't remember what's going on. I haven't been paying attention to it, but maybe we could finally get Resident Evil Outrage in tomorrow's Direct. All right, and then of course, saving the best speculation for last, Super Smash Bros. Speculation. Sakurai posted the other day, we have finished recording the final episode of the channel. I think it will be a while before it's released, so please enjoy the regular episodes until then. So Sakurai has recorded his final YouTube channel video, so most likely Sakurai is going back to making games if he hasn't already done that, and I think he probably has. A while back, in a video, Sakurai said, as for me, I'm still creating games for the time being, likely meaning he's already back to creating games, in the meantime still making his YouTube videos. But now he's done with the YouTube videos, probably now full-time focused on creating games. He also told us it would be fair to assume there'll be another Smash Bros. Game, and that he can't really imagine a Smash Bros. Title without him at the helm. And considering we randomly got some more Spirit events for Smash Ultimate, I really do feel like a team has come back together, likely Sakurai there as well, working on Smash. A while back, Bandai Namco announced Studio 2 and Studio S working specifically on Nintendo games. That is the studio that works on Super Smash Bros. And just the other day, Stealth posted that Studio S and Studio 2 are no longer hiring, so likely they have a full team and are working on whatever they're working on. If I had to guess, I think it's probably the next Super Smash Bros. Game. I doubt we'll see anything Smash Bros. In tomorrow's Direct, maybe Smash 64 announced for NSO, but there was a Smash Bros. 4chan leak about this Nintendo Direct that popped up the other day, and it's rare these days we get to look at a Smash 4chan leak, and that's always so fun, so let's take a look. It says, reminder, the new Smash game will be announced at this week's big summer Nintendo Direct. It's been over 6 years since the last game came out. We're just about to enter the speculation cycle for the next game, and there's a reason why Nintendo announced a Direct weeks in advance when they usually only do it a few days before. It's happening. And then they posted an image alongside with this that has 3 new characters on it. Dante from Devil May Cry, Axel Stone from Streets of Rage, and Ryu Hayabusa from the Ninja Gaiden series. While I'm personally not holding out too much hope for this one coming true, it would be awesome, of course, if it did. Dante, Axel, and Ryu would be amazing, even if it was like a extra fighter pass of 3 characters or something like that. Or if it was a whole new game announced, whatever it is, I'd love to get Smash back, but I'm not holding my breath for it. And then the final thing, Smash News-wise, Guerrilla Games said it would be nice for Aloy to get into Super Smash Bros., to get invited to Super Smash Bros. I don't really, take this one as too much either way. I think it would be cool if Aloy got in Smash 2. I'm a Horizon fan. But what game studio would say, no, they don't want their character in Super Smash Bros. When asked about that? Everyone is always going to say, yes, it would be awesome. We would hope their character would get invited. So again, I don't really take this one way or the other. All right, well, those are my predictions for this Nintendo Direct. I'll try to get this video out as quickly as possible. As of right now, Pioro hasn't been tweeting anything, but maybe he has, after I put this video out. But I want to get this out as quickly as possible because it's, predictions for something that's happening tomorrow. So I want you guys to have time to be able to watch it. I hope my 2D Zelda game prediction comes true and we get a 2D Zelda game with playable Zelda. But I don't know for certain. I'm just pretty confident in it. Again, it's just me gathering rumors and stuff, putting stuff together, and thinking that is probably what's going to happen. That's my big prediction for tomorrow. I'll be, of course, streaming the Direct tomorrow, 10 a.m. EST my time, so feel free to watch alongside with me and see if that prediction comes true or not. If you guys have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff I talked about in this video, feel free to leave them below.
Remember to like the video, leave a comment in the section below, and subscribe to Papa Gino's
Twitter, Patreon, Discord, Twitch.